home field final of the Vicks set to deja vu. Can you go back to back?
Yeah, hopefully that's the dream. Obviously we've got a little bit more inspiration with Sean's retirement last week as well, so it's always nice to have that in the back of our minds. But had a nice little preview. It's panning out very similar to last year, playing the Vicks the last round of the Shield and then playing them in the final as well. So we've both played a lot of good cricket over the last couple of years, so it's certainly feeling like a lot of deja vu. Hopefully we're on the right side of it again.
How are you feeling about last week? Obviously it was a disappointing loss. How do you bounce back from that? Such a short space of time.
Yeah, I think they obviously played a very good brand of cricket out here last week. They have done over the last few years, played quite well out here. I think what we know, we had a few guys rested. Obviously Lance Morris coming back is a huge in for us. Also think the wicket we played on was a bit more conducive towards bowling friendly conditions, may or may not be the same. I think we've just got to trust what we've done really well over the entire of the season. We've won 4 out of our 5 games out here. So we're going to take a lot of confidence in that going forward into the game on Monday.
Have you heard much about the wicket?
Monday? Sorry?
What it could be?
So when does the game start? Thursday.
Monday's day 5.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard much about the wicket and what it's likely to do?
I assume it's going to be. I know we had quite a bit of moisture in it on the last game. I assume it'll be something similar. May or may not be quite as wet, just considering it'll have to go 5 days. But I think, regardless of that fact, I think we're going to back our skills playing on those wickets all year. We'll back our bowlers and our batters to be able to get the job done.
And it's remarkably your first final of the season. You must be that little bit more excited than the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. I think obviously disappointing to miss out in the one-day final. We had an unbelievable team. I mean, if you're spewing and missing out on that team, you're probably thinking you got higher honours, but it was an amazing team for that one-day final, and then obviously we've been playing some really good cricket. It's exciting to be able to play the penultimate game of the year.
Does it feel like this has been your best format of the season? Yeah, what are you averaging? 42, I think it is.
I'm not sure what I'm averaging, but it definitely feels like I've had a lot of rhythm. Haven't bowled a whole heap, which was nice to get a few wickets the other day, but I know it's always, I think playing out here, we play the conditions well, and I've got a really solid game plan when I do come out here, and I've got a lot of confidence when I play out here, so I think that goes a long way. If you've got confidence in on your home ground, you end up having quite a good season. And
the bowling attack, how it's probably going to look totally different to last week, isn't it? With Lance available, hopefully Joel and Matt Kelly as well.
Yeah, that's the advantage that we had, being able to rest two of those guys for last week's game. It wasn't a must-win for us. Having those guys if they get through their fitness tests and a lot of fresh legs, obviously Lance is chomping at the bit with his stint with the Aussies to be able to come out and play for us. That's a huge bonus for us to be able to exploit their batters and be able to have that energy for us throughout the 5 days.
Has Lance been letting out some frustrations in the nets? He hasn't played since late January. Have you been copying some short stuff?
I've got about 3 bruises on my body for the first 5 balls that I faced him. So whether that's frustration or just eagerness, I'll let him decide. But he's certainly firing them down because I didn't pick up the first ball that he bowled to me.
Looking back at the Vicks last week, do you think there's a sense of that's probably their best game that they've played all season? It's a bit of like maybe they've played their grand final, you've rested your guys, and it gives you guys the upper hand?
Yeah, I'd be foolish to say that because obviously they're a very good team. But I mean, all credit goes to them. They played a very good game, and if they can do that again, and they take away the cookies, then that's well played to them. But I think what we've got to focus on is what we do really well. They're obviously going to do the same thing in their change room, but knowing what they're going to come at us with, that's going to be their best game plan, and we're going to do our very best to counter that.
You talk about how good your bowling attack is, but there's something about your bowling that you seem to break partnerships anytime you come on. You're so underutilised. Do you hope to get a bowl in the final? Surely.
I'd hope so. I hope I'll get the 70 to 80th again, the graveyard shift, but I think most batters just think they'll be able to get a few runs and they take a bit of advantage of me and I somehow get things right and it works out. So I think I'm a bit lucky on that side as well.
And just about Sauce, obviously leading you guys on the field last season for the final and then not being here for this one, how much is there that extra motivation to kind of do it for Sauce?
Oh, huge amount. I think he gives us goosebumps every time we think about Big Sospa. Obviously saw the passion and emotion that he had when we won the final last year, and to think back to that with him sitting in the stands knowing he's like a dad to us, and to be able to do that not just for him but also for the fans is huge motivation for us, considering what he's put into all our games and showed us the way about it the last, for me, 10 years.
he's a dad to you, but now you're a dad yourself. Talk us through the last week. Do you feel any different going into last game in this final versus last year? Has anything changed with your perspective, or just sleep a little bit?
I think you've got a very different appreciation for sleep, and also just a different appreciation for how simple life can be. Obviously going out there, you can get quite caught up in a lot of emotions of bowlers and fielders and drop catches and bits and pieces, and then when you go home and you see a little fella, all he wants to do is eat and sleep, it puts things into pretty clear black and white symptoms, into pretty clear black and white signs. So certainly took that out there last week and had that viewpoint, and I'll be taking it out there next week as well.
And how much confidence do you take from your own game, both bowling and batting? Last match you were unstoppable off minimal sleep. How do you take that confidence into the final? You must be feeling at the top of your game.
Yeah, certainly feel very good. I'm very fortunate. My wife she puts a lot of time and lets me sleep in the spare room quite a bit if I need it. So I'm fortunate to be able to bank the hours of sleep that she sees fit. But obviously a couple of nights where I needed to help out, I could, and always nice to get some reward when I'm out there on less sleep than what I've certainly had in before.
Awesome. Anything more?
No, all
That's great.
good. Thanks, Hill.
Happy days, all good.